Let's watch some videos together. Today's topic is alien conspiracy theories. Let's watch.
You know what the darkest conspiracy theory about aliens is?
I don't know if I'm ready for it.
That Earth is essentially a farm, and human beings are the vessels that contain souls, and they want us because this is how they create souls. And so they're farming us, they've created us. So we started off as primates, and through some sort of genetic intervention, I'm not saying I believe this, I'm just saying that this is like top of the food chain, put your tinfoil hat on super tight, that they farm us, and that the whole reason why human beings are involved in this conflict, constant conflict, it's all of it is to increase our competition with each other, increase our ability to control resources, which will increase our technology, which will ultimately lead to us creating this being that we're going to create.
Robots.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
I'm not saying it was aliens,
And
but
was this documentary evidence, video, photos, eyewitness? Like, how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to you and Skip about. I had UFO material. I was denied access for decades. I tried to get access. I was like, holy shit, the former majority leader just say, did he just confirm this to me as well?
What happened to that vehicle?
It looked like it crashed, right? The original shape most likely was like a lenticular disc-like craft, with like two dinner plates, smushed together, right? Okay. And there's like a, like a bubble on top. It looks like when it hit, the edges broke off. So it became this like bell or acorn shaped thing, and there was nothing in it. It was like just an artifact.
So they take this thing and then they bring it where?
Yeah, I can't get into that.
Can't get into that.
No.
Point you had said that there has been harmful activity or aggressive activity. Has any of the activity been aggressive, been hostile in your reports?
I know of multiple colleagues of mine that got physically injured. And the activity...
Why do you think the government is hiding
by
aliens
UAPs
if
or
what
by
he says is real?
By people within the federal government?
Both.
Okay.
Do you think that if aliens are real, they're evil, or they just do not know what they're doing when they abduct people and all of those things that people claim?
So there has been activity by alien or non-human technology and or beings that has caused harm to humans.
I can't get into the specifics in an open environment, but at least the activity that I personally witnessed, and I have to be very careful here because they tell you never to acknowledge tradecraft, right? So what I personally witnessed myself and my wife was very disturbing.
David Eckhart is asleep in his bedroom. A closed-circuit camera mounted above the bed captures the room bathed in a soft yellow light coming from an open door. Suddenly, the camera picks up something alarming. A short, skinny humanoid figure begins slowly peeking out from behind the open door. David does not stir from his sleep as little by little, the figure creeps further into the doorway, revealing a bizarrely slender leg, seemingly just a few inches in diameter, then an oblong head, and eventually its whole body. It resembles otherworldly beings commonly described as grays, and this apparently wasn't the first time David has seen one. David wouldn't be the first to report repeated visits from extraterrestrials.
It's very rare that I have found an individual that has only had one experience. Invariably, there were multiple experiences, often dating back to childhood.
How many different versions of these life forms have been discussed with you?
On mission, I can say 3 I know of. Two main ones.
I've only ever heard
whites,
about the
grays.
short
Those
gray.
are the main
And
ones.
the tall whites like this one that you encountered, the one with the big eyes?
Yes, like that.
But that wasn't that tall, you said.
He says that the tall whites go through a growth cycle where they're kind of normal heights, but they're very long-lived. They live like 800 years or more. But when they start getting older, then they get very tall, like 7-8 foot tall, and then they begin to, their bodies begin to not function properly,
back
and they
in the
die,
day,
kind of
there
like
was
somebody who has a
giants.
growth problem.
Oh, like a giant.
Exactly. Yeah, and their vital organs just can't pump enough anymore.
Had large dogs that die early because of the heart problem.
Right. So the guy that I saw was probably a young person, probably only like 70 years old or something like that, which is kind of an adolescent to them or a young adult.
How many different...
As I'm starting to open my door to try to, administer aid to this guy, the dude in the front passenger seat screams he's got no ears. And I just thinking it's really rude, and then I close the door and I look up and he's got no freaking ears. And his eyes are twice as big. And I just am like, yeah, what the hell did I just walk into?
So he looks pale? Is that what you're saying?
He looked like an albino with a very bluish kind of undertone. And I'm starting...
My theory about people who have experienced seeing aliens in person is that maybe that alien or that creature was actually a creature that we don't know from planet Earth. A super elusive creature that hides in the shadows.
I'm going to freak out, but then he starts to talk to me, and it's not my language, but it's coming to, the understanding is like coming into my mind about every word he's saying. Because
so he's actually saying words.
He's saying words, but it doesn't sound like anything I've heard before.
But you're understanding what he's saying.
But I'm understanding. So I know there's a telepathic thing going on here, and it calms me down at the same time because I'm having to respond to him. And
I sometimes do believe in telepathy abilities because have you ever experienced when you think about someone you haven't talked to in a long time and then they suddenly call you without you even interacting with them on social media or calling them or texting them? I think that humans might be connected beyond what our eyes see. Right,
he's like, hello, I'm having trouble with my craft. I need some repair material. Do you know where I could find some tritium? And this is what he's talking to me about. And I'm like, you mean titanium? Because I didn't know anything about tritium at the time. As I'm starting to open my...
So the grays, the tall whites, the reptilians, but then there's the mantis too, right?
Right.
Other than the beings that we described, are there other ones that people have talked about?
Yes, I've actually,
when I was
like
a
I
little
said,
girl, my father would always tell me alien stories like that.
I encountered more of a spiritual sense, but they were Nordic looking.
It reminds me of my childhood.
Platinum hair kind of a look, blue eyes.
Like
I think that's why I like space so much.
Different.
I'm very
How many
curious about
documented different species have you heard of?
If I'm talking about my mission days, it's only that handful. And then if you're talking about other things that I've had other people tell me about, I think I've heard enough from enough people that I trust that I think our concept of life in this universe is totally off. I think there are literally trillions of other life forms. And anything you can imagine is probably true.
So the gray...
There in the shrubbery coming out of it are little gray entities, about 4 foot tall. As they came towards me, I'm looking at them and thought, what's going on here? But, I didn't say anything. But till the day I die, I'll remember what the little entity said to me. And the way he said it, it was like, Clifford, what are you doing here? You are not supposed to be here. At that time, I got my M16 folded up.
Creepy looking.
You normally don't carry your weapon on full automatic. I put it on full automatic when I start to fire, and I yelled out, VC, VC. And that was to alert the other troops that we were no longer alone, that there were a number of little guys there, I'll put it that way. Well, everyone else started to shoot, but our bullets was having no effect. There.
UFO landing in Brazil in 1996. Holy shit, it's incredible. There's a city called Varginha. According to everyone who was there, according to medical records, they blocked off, the military came in, they recovered a crashed UFO. And there was living creatures that people came in contact with. And one of them was this tiny little thing that this guy carried to wherever they were going to examine it. When he carried it, it got into his body and infected him. And he wound up dying. His body didn't know what to do with this alien thing that he was...
Well, who knows if those stories are real, but the universe has millions of stars and galaxies, and I believe there's potential for another intelligent life form to exist. The truth is out there.